Welcome, Lumineers and fans of the happiest card game on earth. My name's John T, and you've just been put in the inkwell where we have a pile of new cards joining you. 11 new cards, in fact, since our last rundown video. 5 or 6 of those from today, at least. We are definitely ramping up into the full launch of the set 2 Rise of the Floodborn in just a few weeks now. These first few we did actually go over in our new live stream that happens every Monday night here on the channel. Myself and Brandon from BScared24 present This Week in Ink, where we'll cover all of the news and views from the week in Lorcana, including all of these reveals. So a few of these we'll go over again, because obviously not everyone is able to watch the live stream. We started off with a 7-costed uninkable 6/5 for 2 lore, Scar Vicious Cheetah. He has Rush and the ability Daddy Isn't Here to Save You. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you may ready this character. He can't quest for the rest of this turn. This is a legendary card in Ruby, and it sees the return of Nicholas Cole to the game. Honestly, I'm not quite sure about this one. I think he's maybe a little overcosted for a legendary, perhaps. He kind of sits between Maui and Be Prepared, both of which do what they're trying to do maybe a little better than this one does. I think this one suffers a little bit from trying to be a Drac of all trades and a Master of none. I certainly don't see this getting played over a Be Prepared in a control deck, but perhaps there's a more character-focused build in Ruby that will want to see this one instead. In a perfect situation, this is killing 2 things and surviving, so we'll see. But right now, I'm not sure this is particularly strong, and I would like to know who has a problem with Scar at Ravensburger. Next up, Li Shang, Archery Instructor, a 5-costed inkable 3/6 for 2 lore in Steel, Storyborn hero with the ability Archery Lesson. Whenever this character quests, your characters gain evasive this turn. An uncommon with art from Christian Romero. I've warmed a little on this card since I first saw it. A 5-costed 3/6 for 2 lore just isn't terribly statted, and it could be used to pick off an awkward evasive. I won't lie, in my Emerald Sapphire deck, I'm often quite happy to see the Tinkerbell in Emerald that gives something evasive just to get rid of a pesky Goofy or a Pascal or Pongo on the opposite side of the board, so maybe this one just gives you other options. The fact that it's uninkable as well means that it can well just be sideboarded into the inkwell. Perhaps it's not as bad as I originally gave it credit for, only time will tell. Next up, an insane card, a 3-costed uninkable action song in Emerald, Bibbity Bobbity Broken. This thing is return chosen character of yours to your hand to play another character with the same cost or less for free. Lady Shalarin does awesome work on this rare. I mean, this thing is just insane. I don't think it's broken. It is very, very strong, though. Also, I read it this way, but a lot of people didn't, but it has been sort of confirmed now that the another character can well be the one that you just picked up. So you can just use this to pick something up and replay it, get the benefit from the entering the board again. Already, I imagine your cogs are whirring with incredible plays you can do with this. Pretty much anything that's got a great entering the board ability is going to love this card. But also, this is going to let you bounce back a shifted character and replay it without the shift target underneath it, which is a great sort of way to get a character into your hand. If you need something to ink or if you need something to play, you're going to be able to sing this with a Rockstar Stitch. You're then going to be able to replay the Rockstar Stitch and then play the new Dog Stitch and have it come in exerted for the card draw. I just think there's going to be so much tempo and so much value from this card. This is easily a $20 rare when it comes out. It's going to be a really, really playable card. A 3-costed inkable 3/3 for 1 lore in Ruby. Next, Tigger, one of a kind, a Dreamborn Tigger with the ability Energetic. Whenever you play an action, this character gets +2 strength this turn. Common card here with dual artists P. Gaylord and L. Gear Michelle. This is fine. I probably will see limited play. There's definitely an actions matter theme in Ruby, along with the Diver Minnie Mouse that we saw before. But yeah, this Super Tigger isn't particularly super, honestly. Next up, a 5-costed inkable 6/5 for 1 lore, Donald Duck, Deep Sea Diver, another Nicholas Cole here in common. And, you know, this is just a vanilla stat line, a chunky stat line. It's a swapped around Cerberus, 6/5 instead of 5/6. And Cerberus can see some fringe play in steel decks. I imagine Donald Duck here gets the same. Lore-wise, this one's very interesting. You go ahead, Minnie. I'm going to see if there's any lore over here. I guess it would be... if it was done in his voice, of course. But otherwise, yeah, interesting from the story point of view, but as a card, it's nothing particularly to write home about. Revealed not much later than this one was a 2-costed Inkable 3/2 for 1 lore Minnie Mouse zipping around with fantastic art from Ellie Horry on this common. Yeah, interesting stat line, 3/2 on a 2, to be honest with you. I don't hate it. It hits into Olaf's quite nicely. It shuts down both of the challengers. Well, it doesn't shut them down, but makes the trades, I guess. I don't know. It's fine, I suppose. Again, I struggle to really get excited about these vanillas. They often do find a slot somewhere in a deck, but I feel like it's usually just because nothing else that can fit in there. And these will very quickly get outpaced as we get new cards. But otherwise, a 3/2 for 1 lore for 2 isn't awful. And then finally, we get into some really exciting reveals. A 4-costed Inkable 2/3 for 2 lore in Emerald, Daisy Duck Secret Agent, a Dreamborn ally with the ability Thwart. Whenever this character quests, each opponent chooses and discards a card. Uncommon here with art from Lisette Carrera. Daisy Duck joining the fray, her first card in Lorcana, and what a card. Incredible art. I absolutely adore this art. I'm sure that lamp is going to be something. There's no way that's just a lamp she's carrying there. That's got to be some sort of Lorcana lamp. Very excited to hear more about this. But as far as a card goes as well, I think this is a great uncommon. I think this obviously goes into the discard deck that Emerald is working on. You're going to play this with a Prince John on the board. It's going to be gross, and this just demands answering. This is up there with the Flynn Rider from set 1 as being Emerald's uncommon that's way better than it deserves to be. Next up, a 9-costed Inkable 10/10 for 4 lore, Goofy Knight for a Day. A rare card here with art by Marco Giorgiani. My goodness, what a big boy. I'll be honest with you, the double digits in the strength and willpower make this look fake, and I genuinely saw I saw somebody on one of the Facebook groups. They posted this when it was revealed, and the first comment was, "Oh man, I wish this card was real." It is real. It's a genuine one. It was revealed by Team Lorcana. Rochelle showed this one off in the Discord. But you're right; those double digits they don't look right there. It's the biggest thing we've seen. I honestly don't really think this will see play. There might be some Sapphire Steel deck that ramps it out, but honestly, the dice to removal argument comes up whenever we see something like this. But I just think this doesn't give you enough on the turn you play it to warrant paying 9 for it. You've got Maleficent, Monstrous Dragon in Ruby at this cost that is going to affect the board. Maui, the 8-costed Steel 8/8 for 3, I guess he is, doesn't really see that much play, so I can't see a 10/10 for 4 lore just for 1 extra ink seeing much play for the same reasons. I love that these cards exist. I just don't. I think this is a great rare to go into a cheap deck. If you're trying to build on a budget, you're going to be able to pick these up for a couple of bucks, I think. And but other than that, I don't really see much play from Goofy, unfortunately, as awesome as he is. And then finally, we got shown 3 cards as part of an announcement from Ravensburger regarding organized play in 2024. They have announced that there are going to be official events, basically, starting in Q2 2024, either tournaments or more sort of casual fan events. More news on those in January. We'll be covering that in more detail in another video. But as part of that announcement, they did show us 3 of the promo cards that are going to be available at these events. So we don't know the actual set number or rarity of these, but I still think we've got enough here to go on that we can talk over them. First of all, we have a new action song, a 4-costed Inkable action song in Sapphire, 4 dozen eggs. Your characters gain resist 2 until the start of your next turn. I'm going to hold off on the artist names until I can see them a little clearer, but I think this is pretty good. This is basically a 4-cost your stuff gets a free round of questing. I feel that's what we're looking at here, because resist 2 is pretty chunky. It means all of damage removal probably won't work on them, and it means anything that's sort of swinging into them most likely won't finish it off if it was going to beforehand, unless you're facing a really strong opponent's board, and in which case you probably shouldn't be just swinging out to quest anyway. But honestly, it's an inkable singable. It's bona fide inkable singable card. I actually think this is pretty good. I think this one will see play, depending on the rarity, whether or not it's easy to pick up or not. I feel like I'm going to guess that this is rare. I think this is a rare card, but we'll find out soon enough. Next up, we have a 2-costed uninkable 1/1 for Amethyst, Pinocchio, Talkative Puppet, a Storyborn hero with the ability Telling Lies. When you play this character, you may exert chosen opposing character. One lore here, again, just because it hasn't been mentioned, that white lore symbol there is purely to show that it's a promo and has different foiling. Mechanically, it is no different to a regular lore. I think this seems pretty good, actually. This is freeze on a body, and that's probably what's making it uninkable, and is the fact that there is already a 2-costed freeze. You've got to kind of have a detriment to having a character stick around afterwards. And obviously the fact that it's uninkable is going to be the big decider as to whether or not they sees play. But honestly, at the moment, anything in Amethyst with a good enter the board ability, I could see play purely because of all of the bounce stuff that we're seeing in that color. This is one of those cards that the 1/1 and 1 lore probably doesn't really mean much on it. Honestly, it's most likely just going to be able to come down, get bounce, just keep exerting stuff. I don't think it's incredible, but I do feel like it's pretty good. Is it a rare? I think it's probably uncommon. It could be rare. No, I'm going to guess uncommon. I think this is an uncommon card. That's the thing I will say about this so far, is that pretty much all of the promo stuff has been a low rarity, which is the other reason why I think that one might be uncommon. I do think this card we're about to look at here might be the first higher rarity promo we're seeing. This is a 5-costed Inkable 0/6 for 2 lore, Rapunzel, Gifted Artist, Floodborn, Hero, Princess with Shift 3, and Let Your Powers Shine. Whenever you remove 1 or more damage from one of your characters, you may draw a card. This is good. I don't. A tricky one. I'm struggling a little bit to put this one because at the moment we haven't really seen what we want to shift onto. Now, that's not to say that you couldn't shift onto Gifted with Healing with this, because Gifted with Healing, once she's played, it kind of just becomes a vanilla. Really, her ability is an enter the board ability. So really, once she's coming down, she's not doing so much. Here, you can give her a bigger butt. Still quest for the same amount, but then have a residual healing drawing effect. This instantly makes cards like Hakuna Matata a lot better. It makes that Jasmine in Sapphire a lot better, the Floodborn Jasmine. There could be I think there's definitely an Amber Steel Princesses deck that is going to like this card. There could also be an Amber Sapphire big butt healing deck that could like this card as well. I don't think it's incredible. I certainly don't think it's quite as strong as Gifted with Healing personally. Just that extra cost and the weaker body, well, arguably the weaker offensive body. No, maybe it is good. I don't know. I'm still struggling. You can hear me fighting with myself with this one. I don't need anyone else to have this conversation with. I can happily to do it by myself. I struggle a little bit to really evaluate healing in this game, because it is a much more offensive ability in this game than it is a defensive ability like it is in most of the trading card games, and I just struggle a little bit to get my head around that when I'm not actually looking at cards on a table in front of me. When I'm trying to sort of view them in the abstract that is reveals in a set, I struggle a little bit to really see the value out of this one. I rated Rapunzel Gifted with Healing okay, I think, and I now play a deck with 2 of her because I can't afford the other 2. Like, that's how good she is, right? Like, I'm playing a slightly weaker deck just because I want the chance of being able to put her on a table, and she's a $100 card, so everyone else is thinking the same. So, yeah, maybe this is much better than I'm thinking. It's interesting that it's a promo. Might mean quite an expensive promo, I think, perhaps. We will see. So there we go, pile of cards. I've tried to race through them as quick as I can. We will go into a lot of these more in depth next Monday for our next episode of This Week in Ink. I hope if you are around, you can join us. That's at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. And we'll be looking at all of the other news that dropped today regarding reprints and organised play in another video as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Until the next one, be good.